it sort of sparked a whole new excitement in the band. Not that there wasn't an excitement, but it just like makes us feel like kids again because we're like, oh yeah, remember like maybe we can be crazier again like we did when we did this. Because once you do it so long and it becomes your career, you forget about those risks you took back in the day, and now you do it again. You're like, oh yeah, like we got to this point because we used to take these risks. And you're like, you guys want to open up Pandora's box again a little bit?
This is Justice from Ghost Cult Magazine, everybody. Today I'm joined by Levi Benton from Miss May I. The band has a bunch of exciting things coming up soon, including some tour dates, some festival shows, maybe even some new music, which we'll get into that here in a bit. But Levi, thank you for joining me. How's it going?
Good, good. It's going good. It's finally sunny here, so I'm having a
Right.
good day.
Thank goodness. I'm over in the Midwest, so we have about like three fake springs before it actually gets, really nice. So
Yeah.
totally there with you. But like I said, you have a bunch of exciting things coming up here in the future. Probably first coming up for you is your Latin American tour dates coming up next month, which is super exciting. But what are you most looking forward to with those shows coming up?
Oh man. Latin America is awesome because I think so we haven't been there for a very long time, and the biggest thing I remember last time we were there was it was the first time a crowd like, and probably the only time at least at this volume, like they sing our guitar riffs, and it was crazy. So I can't wait to go back because it's just like an entire different level of energy. And we're adding some extra dates, and uh, yeah, I don't know. It's going to be great. And there's the we might have some new music that we might be playing there, and I think it's going to be exciting to sort of tease it to that crowd.
No, I love that. And I like how you mentioned that they tend to sing the guitar riffs as well. I also kind of wanted to ask, kind of going off of that, how are crowds over there maybe different from crowds over here in the States?
So we're like exotic. So that's what I always tell everyone. It's like that's the only way to really compare it is if you're going to see a band that's say from Japan or Russia that only comes here once every 5 years, you're really not going to miss it, and you're probably going to lose your mind when they
Mhm.
come in town. And it's like it's sort of the same thing. It's just a very special. It's such an elevated experience and event because we know going into it that we're not going to be back for a long time, and they know as well.
Mhm.
So it just that excitement's just like this is it. So not only is this a circle pit, but like this is it's got to be a circle pit because who knows next time we're gonna be back. So people
Right.
lose their minds. It's awesome.
Gotta live it up while you can. So definitely some high energy for sure. Is there
Yeah, yeah. It's not
any,
like a Chicago.
right? Is there
Yeah.
any specific places over there that you're maybe most looking forward to checking out?
So I became last time we were there, post pandemic and being a dad, I sort of am really enjoying cities more, and
Mhm.
just enjoying like traveling. Not that I didn't back in the day, but we were just kids and being hooligans and friends, and I really wasn't absorbing the the city and how everything the community and how the restaurants and coffee and now like now that we're coffee drinkers and Elijah, our new guitar player, he's a huge coffee head and he's really got our band into it. So I cannot wait to go to South America and just slam some amazing coffee.
I love that you bring that
I'm
up
gonna
because
have way too much coffee.
no, as you should, as you should. A fellow coffee addict myself, so I totally get it. I had just seen an interview with you where you're actually, I think it might have been in Australia where you're talking about the amazing coffee from Australia everywhere.
Yeah.
Where is probably the best coffee? What's the best cup of coffee you've ever had from everywhere you've traveled to?
Okay, so we had this really crazy coffee. It's called luwak coffee.
Hmm.
And it's from a luwak, which is this animal. And it poops out the coffee beans. So it's that's where you get the coffee. It has to be from that like animal. And so we went to this like luwak farm that did like we actually went to a place that did that. And it's awesome because the animal absorbs all the acid. So it's
Hmm.
like the smoothest, strongest coffee. And you get to meet the animals that ate it before you drank the poop water. So, but it was great.
That is
It was a good
out of,
time.
I thought you would have just said, oh, Australia, maybe Brazil, but no, definitely. I don't even know what kind of animal. I can't even say I've ever even seen a picture
Yeah, it
of
looks like a
one.
lemur. It looks like a lemur a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and they were in Asia. So it was actually really funny. Sorry, last little thing where the story is we were trying to find it and we were all on mopeds like in Asia, just trying to be like, where can we find this coffee? And this guy
Mhm.
meets us at this stoplight on a moped and he's like, what are you guys looking for? We're like, oh, we're trying to find a Luwak place. He's like, I'm going to work. I actually work at a Luwak farm. Follow me. And we're like, this is amazing. So he took us straight to his farm, and it was awesome.
The universe just aligned so that could happen for you. That's
That's
amazing.
right.
And the whole band, they were all
Yeah.
for it. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna drink this crazy coffee.
Yeah. Well, we've heard about it. It's like if you look
Yeah.
it up, it's like a big thing. It's like known to be crazy. So, and we were in town, might as well, you know?
You had to. I'm gonna fall down that rabbit hole after this interview. I'm gonna Google it and I'll see into it. But obviously, like I'd mentioned earlier, you also have some festival shows coming up as well in the future, some pretty exciting ones. I had seen an interview also where you had mentioned that any day you prefer a festival show more than just a regular Miss May I show. I was wondering if that was still true, or maybe if that's true, why do you feel that way?
Yeah, I like the festival vibe because it's a lot of fans that aren't our fans, and I love the challenge of trying to win people over. So I
Mhm.
just like the challenge. I love our shows obviously too. It's a different vibe, but the challenge of sort of the first song being very difficult, and by the last song everyone's sing along or jumping around or smiling. It's like then I've done my job, and it's just really rewarding to play a festival show.
Right, for sure. Is there
So
any different way you might prepare yourself for a festival show compared to just a regular show?
oh yeah, I look goofy. Definitely learning some parts of like you just gotta watch where you learn where to ask them not to sing or like to be like I'm actually gonna do this tonight because they're not gonna support me on this. And I've played many shows where I've put the mic out. I'm like, oh, this nails it every time, and I'm like, this isn't our crowd, and it's just dead silent crickets, and I'm like, I look like an idiot, so I'll do it. So just learning that and sort of anticipating it. And writing new songs for that. Like for instance, we have new music and we're talking about new singles. One of the things was to not have like sort of gang vocals at beginning of songs because playing those you're going to play to festival crowds that aren't going to know that song. So you sort of after this is our eighth album, so now we're always learning new things. And I was just like, we should probably we went down this rabbit hole before. Let's fix it. So
I know you mentioned new music, super excited to kind of ask about that as well. But I know kind of ahead of when that music might come out, you also have some really cool festival shows coming up. I know you're playing Louder Than Life, Welcome to Rockville, but you're also playing Warp Tour this year, kind of the return
yeah,
of Warp Tour coming up. And I know that festival specifically, it just means so much to a lot of people, a lot of memories from that festival for a lot of fans who've gone. But for somebody like yourself and May I kind of veterans of Warp Tour. What are you most looking forward to with kind of returning to Warp Tour again?
I'm excited for the crazy crowd. Like at the time, Warped Tour was the only place that sort of had those kind of crowds, and since
Mhm.
Warped Tour's left, the radio circuit has sort of taken their place. I'm excited for the crowd, but I'm mainly excited for the hangouts. Like there's so many bands, and that's what Warped Tour was all about. Was like just the shows are great, but the hangs with all your friends and like the behind the scenes is awesome because it's not like a normal show where there's like green rooms and everyone's got production. There's this huge hierarchy and all this stuff on stage. It's just like a reunion, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's your turn. Okay, let me play real quick." And then you're like, "I'll see you in 45 minutes." And then you get done playing, like, "Okay, what's up?" Like, and you just all hang out. It's a really good time, and it was cool because at least for us and a lot of our friends, they didn't tell the bands who was on it. So we didn't all know unless it was word of mouth or you heard from a friend of a friend. So the announce was just as surprising for all of us. So like my
Mhm.
phone and all these like just a bunch of homies are texting each other like, I can't wait. I'll see you in Long Beach, or this is gonna be awesome, and we're gonna do that song together. It's like it's just it was cool.
I actually didn't know that. I feel like that would be like such a, I can only imagine like the major Warp Tour group chat of all the bands just kind of coming together and like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna see you there." Like I feel like that's such a cool, there's a there's always been a really great sense of community for the fans who go, but also like you're saying, even for the artists who play and get to kind of hang out and reunite every year, like when it would happen. So very excited to see what memories might be made at this Warp Tour.
Yeah.
Not to sound cheesy or anything.
No, it'll be
Um,
awesome. Like for like the Road to Warped Tour got announced a few days ago, and I don't think Telly from More to Live was thinking about it, but he's like we're singing 2012 together. This is gonna be awesome. But that was like a text I got the same day they announced, and so it's like yeah, things like that do happen. It's cool. Keep
Yeah.
going. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. But it has been, I know this is kind of almost like a return of Warped Tour in a sense, but how do you think you played 2011, 2012, 2015, I believe, if I did my research right. But how do you think this Warped Tour now might be different compared to when you played Warped Tour maybe 10 or so years ago?
I think we're at least for us, our performance is more performance based and not just being loud and crazy. So I mean,
Mhm.
I think a lot of bands like I don't know, it's just so different. I think the performance is going to be a lot different because everyone has learned a lot, and all the upcoming bands are so advanced to where upcoming bands were 10 years ago. So I
Mhm.
think the performances are just gonna. I feel like it's gonna be the same vibe, but with just an elevated experience. Sort of like it almost reminds me like Warped Tour meets like a Coachella or like a Riot Fest because I feel like those everybody is sort of getting better as musicians. Like even bands that are starting out today, it's just the s- the starting point has moved
Mhm.
significantly, and I think that's going to be really cool for Warped Tour because it's only been known as like ruckus and craziness, and now everyone's really honed in on their craft. So I think it's going to be a cool experience.
No, for sure. I'm excited to see, especially like you mentioned, even like the kind of more advanced up and coming bands. I'm excited to see what they do at these upcoming Warped Tour shows. Are there any specific kind of up and comers that you're excited to see or that have been kind of on your radar?
I'm excited to see Scowl.
Love
I like,
Scowl.
yeah, just obsessed with them. I think that they're
Hmm.
going to be really, really cool to see. And yeah, just a bunch of friends. I don't know. I really haven't looked at the lineup because I feel like I'm just gonna try to get lost and walk around. Because
Yeah.
I was even like that when we played Warped Tour. I never really paid attention to the lineup because I discovered bands because I would just like put my backpack on and put a hat on, and after we played, I would just put sunglasses on and walk around and just go to Warped Tour for the day.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh, this band's pretty cool. And I'm like, I'll hang out with them or I've seen them around. I'll say hey, and I'll be like, good set yesterday. So it's like it's nice to organically sort of discover the bands too. Also, if you've been to the Warped Tour, I don't want to get invested in the band because trying to catch everybody on a random crazy lineup, I don't want to
Yeah.
get heart broken. So
Right.
I'm gonna have to organically find them. Yeah.
Right, just let everything happen as it should. Almost don't plan too much when it comes to Warped
Mhm.
Tour. But I love that you mentioned Scowl. I feel like they're kind of one of my favorite. They were just on the late
It's
show
crazy.
last night. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
I
was
saw
so cool.
that.
I'm glad to see that kind of more alternative groups are kind of getting more of a spotlight with late night TV and kind of more mainstream media. But no, had to rant about Scowl there for a little bit. I know, kind of looking back on Warped Tour, speaking of the history of the band, I know last year you also all put out a 15-year anniversary re-recording of your famous album Apologies Are for the Weak, which I feel like a lot of people were very excited for. But after all this time, like, how does it feel to kind of revisit that album and to realize how far you've come as a band after all these years?
It was really cool. It was refreshing because you sort of forget. I don't know, just that feeling of the adolescence and where you were starting the band. Because we didn't know how to write songs, so it was really cool to go back to do that. Because after that album, we started going to producers and we're like, oh, we have to really like do this. That first album was just like pretty much our demos with like a couple songs we wrote with the producer sprinkled in there. But we didn't know how to write songs, so we showed up and we're just like, this is what we got. And it was cool to go back because I'm like, what the hell was I thinking doing this? And like, because we had to do word for word, line for line, and even like it was Elijah, our new guitar player's intro to the band. So it was funny because we're like, hey, we know you joined the band, but actually the first assignment is to play nothing like we play now, and we're gonna just put a blender on all the riffs and just figure it out. And that's like everyone's. So it was a cool like boot camp. But yeah, it sort of sparked a whole new excitement in the band. Not that there wasn't an excitement, but it just like makes us feel like kids again because we're like, oh yeah, remember like maybe we can be crazier again like we did when we did this. Because once you do it so long and it becomes your career, you forget about those risks you took back in the day. And now you do it again. You're like, oh yeah, like we got to this point because we used to take these risks. And you're like, you guys want to open up Pandora's box again a little bit and
Hmm.
be weird? So it was refreshing.
No, I love that. It is kind of cool to see, like, almost go back to your roots a little bit and see like what you can do different or what you can kind of go back to. I know you mentioned kind of last year kind of marked almost a new era for the band with revisiting that album and then also signing on to a different label. But and then you mentioned revisiting this kind of famous album that you all put out, but I believe it was almost like 17 years ago or so when the band first formed and you first started. In what ways is the band different now compared to when you all first started, when you all were still in high school?
It's really cool. Jared and I, we were just together for a few weeks, all of us in the studio. So we were just all hanging out recently and like living together. And me and Jared and I were just actually talking about this because him and I are the oldest members because we were like started the band and stole Ryan from other local bands because he was great. But our band was also like a big enough local band by the time we got Ryan. So that was like we were already like not established, but the thing. And then Elijah just came on the last few years. So, but me and Jared actually were just talking about this because we still do it and everything has been like an accident and just sort of has happened. We're like, remember, we're just like we just always like whisper in each other's ears, like, we're still just screwing around. And it's like really people are taking us seriously. We're like, this is crazy. Because to us, we're
Mhm.
just a band of friends. Like Ryan joined a band, like their perspective is just different because they joined an established band. Jared and I started this band as like messing around. And it's cool because I still feel that. Like we just played Knotfest. It was one of our biggest festival shows. One of the first days was like 22,000. It was just insane. And then like
Mhm.
we're like laughing before we go up there because everyone's taking us so serious, which like we take it seriously, but we're like, this is and our families are there and all this. We flew them to Australia. We're just like, this is just insane. We're like, look how far it's taken us. So I
Mhm.
think that's like I don't think that's changed, and that's like sort of what's been a part of our band since the beginning. Is that we just love what we do because we've also done tours and had our ups and downs where we've done tours for free, but we still pretty much like or like lost money doing tours, and you're just like we still show up because we just love what we do. And I think that's like the core. And I think people know that, like especially our longtime fans, because they've seen us ups and downs, got coffee with us, hang out with us before or after the shows. Like
Mhm.
we're just dudes, and we're just stoked to be hanging. So
I think it's
long
cool
answer.
that no, no. Love me a long answer, it's fine. But I love that you mentioned just all these different things about just not taking yourself too seriously because I feel like when the band is all just having fun on stage after all these years, I feel like from a listener, from a fan's point of view, I feel like that's just so obvious to see when a band is having a great time. But kind of going off of that, again, the band has been around for so long. What do you think the key is for longevity or just sticking through it the whole time, especially like you say, the band has had its kind of up and down moments. Like, what's the key to just kind of sticking through it?
I think the key is just like being in it for the right reasons and sort of always remembering why you joined the band. Because I'm not saying it's for every case because there's bands that are like super bands that are built to be successful businesses and like huge mega bands. Like, and those are
Mhm.
different, obviously, vibes. But for our, I just I guess just remember that like when it gets hard, remember why you joined the band, and hopefully that's like the same principle. Like ours was to hang out with my friends. And if I think if it wasn't three of my friends that I was out on tour with, I wouldn't be leaving and going doing the stuff. Like I love it because I'm hanging out with my friends. The show is just like the cherry on top at the end of the day because we
Mhm.
all, even our crew, like it's all friends. Like we're all so excited. Like our first day of rehearsals and stuff, we're all like, because now we have families and we all live in different states and life is just crazy. So when we get to do it, it's like a big family reunion and we all get to like have a hug and hang out. But that's like why we started it. And now, and it's cool because it's also work. So we see work as like a huge, it's just, yeah, we're just very thankful that we get to go to work and remember that it's the same feeling as when we were 14 in the basement. And now we're
Mhm.
just still doing it. We've actually been doing it longer than we haven't been doing it, which is a weird feeling.
I'm sure that's probably crazy to realize, but it definitely doesn't hurt when your
Wild.
job is touring around the world in a rock band with your friends. I'm sure that's kind of probably a great life to live.
Yeah. Well, that's what, and you have to, like I said, like when we're having downs and stuff, you have to still remember that. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
when it's a crappy day, you're like, it's not that crappy. You're like, it's still pretty cool.
right.
Um, and we'll get through this, or like, let's put our heads together and like remember, maybe we need to go back to the basics, you know? So, just, yeah, as long as you're like a good group. And there's so many different ways. I've met so many bands along the road that have their own sort of lore and story and their own idea of that. But that's
Mhm.
ours.
No, for sure. And also kind of going off of that, especially, I feel like the band has done so much, done so many different things throughout your years as a band. But at this point, is there anything still like, do you have any bucket list items or goals that you still have? Like maybe things for the band that you'd love to do that you just kind of haven't crossed off your list yet?
Oh man, I really want pyro. We've never had a show with pyro, so I
Okay.
really want some explosions. I would like some explosions. We're close. We're like this close, but I really
Mhm.
want some explosions. We've
I think
never
the
been to
fans would like
Hawaii or
that.
Alaska. Yeah, I write in my mind when I close my eyes and I'm on stage, there is pyro.
Right.
but it's not really there.
Right.
And then yeah, Hawaii and Alaska has always been on my list. We've been touring so long. We just haven't hit there. And then yeah, I think those are my Pyro is a big one. I always get teased. It'll be like on stage and they're like, we can't have it till 7 p.m. And I'm like, son of a and I'm
Right.
like, why can't we turn it on? So but yeah, that's my big dream. Hopefully these albums. And I always joke with our drummer wants a bigger drum riser, and I want pyro. So every time we have a song that's like in the studio, we're like, this is the one. Our like Ryan is the realist, and he's like, don't get your hopes up, guys. Don't get your
Right.
hopes up. But I'm like, this is the pyro song. This will get us to
Mhm.
the next level.
If you just keep saying it out loud, if you just keep manifesting it, I mean, it's gonna
That's where
stick.
I'm at.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. It'll happen eventually. It has to. Are there any certain, I know some bands are so known for their use of pyro on stage. Are there any bands that kind of inspire you in that sense or?
Oh, Parkway for sure. I think
Okay.
Parkway, yeah, well, Parkway and Avenged Sevenfold because we've toured with both of them a lot, and they both do it differently. And I think like I would love to have like a cross between those because
Okay.
Avenged does it for spooky and aesthetic. Parkway does it for the wow factor. They're just like
Mhm.
just trying to blow shit up. So,
No, for sure. Which again, as a fan, from a fan point of view, I feel like we always appreciate a little fire, a little
a
pyro and stuff.
guitar solo and fire, come on, like
Absolutely. Wonderful
that's my
combination.
14-year-old dream. Exactly. Like just
Right.
let me get the last little thing. That's all I want.
We can do the fire and then like we will ask for nothing else. Like that's all. Our last little thing.
That
I know we've been kind of talking about it, but I know you mentioned new music is on the way. I think I saw an interview where you even said a new album is pretty much done, but without giving too much away, what can we kind of expect in that sense in the future? What's future music looking like for Miss May I?
it's coming out really cool. It's the first time we're writing as a new lineup, and I think it's brought a lot of spiciness to the band that I think people will like. And there's just so much dynamic in between the songs. Because not only is there a new lineup, but like Ryan is also writing a lot more. And yeah, we're all four writing a lot more. We've always all four wrote, but now because we have so much time in between tours and we have so much home time. We have home setups and home studio setups. So it's now a blender of just riffs. And then we all get together because Elijah, our new guitar player, he has the Armory, which is his studio out in Cape Girardeau. We use his studio now. So it's cool because now we have that in house. So instead of us like flying and only having a month to do an album, we've been doing it in like chunks when we're ready. So it's been very on our time and when it feels right, it doesn't feel rushed, and it's coming out so awesome. So I'm very excited for yeah, I'm excited for it to come out, and I'm excited for it just to be something new for fans. It's our eighth album, so just there is some new ingredients, and I think everyone can hear it. So it's
Mhm.
gonna be cool.
No, I'm very excited. I think a lot of other fans will be excited too to see whenever that comes out in the future, but very glad to hear that also you're very much looking forward to a bunch of new stuff featured on the album as well. But I think with that, that was kind of all the questions that I had for you. But was there any final thoughts or anything else you wanted to add that maybe we didn't touch on?
No, when's this come out? Do you know when this comes out?
I do not. I do not. Soon.
You
I know
think it comes
soon.
out before Wednesday of next week? Probably not that soon.
I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't have the answer.
Okay, no worries. I was gonna say we have a tour we're announcing on Wednesday, but
Okay.
but it was just
Mhm.
yeah, no worries. I'm not gonna say anything. That's it.
Right. We won't talk
I'm
about
good.
it. Probably off the record,
Yeah.
where is what tour is being announced?
It's on the way to Warped Tour, the first Warped Tour day. It's us with Gideon. It's a headliner. It's us with Gideon, and I'm the worst because I don't have the whole lineup on my. I'm gonna tell you in 2 seconds. Gideon
There's
and
too much
who's
to
the
keep
two?
memorized all the time anyway.
No, it's just because it changed so many times. I don't want to tell you the wrong thing.
Oh, right, right.
Okay, here it is. Gideon, Dreamwake,
Okay, okay. And is that a US tour you said?
hmm
Okay, cool. Which again, I
US and
don't
Canada.
Okay, cool. And like yeah, I don't know if this will come out like when that's announced, but we have the inside scoop now. So
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. But no, like once again, that was all I had for you. But thank you so much for taking the time. It was super cool chatting with you today. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, anytime. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much. And good luck with all this exciting stuff coming up. Super cool for all of you. So good luck with everything.
Awesome. Thank you.